The annual parade along our seafront has, for many years now, been organised by the Clevedon branch of the Royal British Legion. Legion standers from all over Somerset were in attendance, including the men's and ladies' county standard bearers. The parade marshal was Brian Summers from Wellington.
Shortest on the left in single rank, size! Eyes! Bet! Forward squad, quick! March!
A large contingent of cadets from 1446 Clevedon Squadron of the Air Training Corps were under the control of their CO, Flight Lieutenant Will Hobbs. As usual on these occasions, the Avon Glen Pipes and Drums Band were at the head of the parade. When it first took place in 2006, the parade was known as Veterans Day, and the aim was to ensure that the contribution of military veterans was never forgotten. Nowadays, this annual event, which takes place throughout the country, aims to commemorate all men and women, both past and present, who serve both at home and overseas in the British Armed Forces. The bandstand, which was built in 1893 to commemorate the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria, was used as a saluting base, and among the dignitaries taking the salute were Roger Dudridge, Royal British Legion Chairman for Somerset, and Vice Chair of the Clevedon Council, Pat McNeill. Taking the salute with them were Tom Higgins, who was a Dunkirk veteran, and Elsie Bruton, who served in the WAF during the last war. The Army Cadets from the Clevedon section of the Somerset Cadet Battalion of the Rifles, under their section officer Aaron Baker, marched past at their usual 140 paces to the minute. Not easy when the rest of the parade is marching at the slower rate of 120 to the minute. Clevedon has several war memorials, but the target of this parade was the Peace Memorial between Elton Road and Seavale Road. The chairman of the Clevedon branch of the Royal British Legion, Rob Campbell, laid a wreath in memory of the fallen. final act of commemoration during this parade was a drumhead service at the bandstand, where our Member of Parliament, Dr. Liam Fox, joined us. The Portishead Town Band took over the musical duties for the service of remembrance.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
Finally, Dr. Fox, the ex-Defence Secretary, inspected the assembled banners of the local Royal British Legion branches, after which he was off to London where, the following day, he delivered a speech on Europe. There's no peace for politicians in this world, it seems. Just over 6 months ago, Gilly Maloney, a well-known children's author, opened the community bookshop in Copse Road. Clevedon News was there at the opening, so now the time seemed right to return to the shop and see how things have been since then. Tony Billinghurst is chairman of the cooperative running the bookshop. We asked him how things had gone.
Really very well, much better than we anticipated. We were concerned about opening in winter with the problems of the weather and so on, but we opened on New Year's Eve, had a mass of people here, and numbers have dropped a little bit and sales have dropped a bit, but they're still 2 or 3 times what we originally anticipated in our first business plan. So everything is going well. We've got a lot of volunteers coming to help us in the shop. We've got a lot of customers coming to buy books and to browse around, and we've had a lot of events as well, developing the profile of the shop as a part of the community in Clevedon. We're absolutely delighted with how it's going. It's a real asset, I think, to our town.
The shop, part of which was once a butcher's shop, is managed on a day-to-day basis by Jackie Madill. It opened with about 7,000 books in stock, so we wondered how many they had sold to date.
Yeah, it's difficult to know exactly how many books. One of the features has been that we've had a lot of books donated, but we're selling a little bit over £2,000 worth of books a month, which is much more than we first thought. We got 7,000 books initially, and we would have sold quite a number of those during that time. Most of them fiction, but some of the more valuable non-fiction books as well. The interesting thing is that the bookshop has been a kind of magnet for people, because people have brought along books that they've cleared the houses, and we've been attracting books as much as we've been selling them. So our stock has gone up exponentially. We are much better off for stock than we started, and we're hoping to sell more and more books from that basis. But we're very encouraged by the attitude of people coming along, buying books and contributing books to our bookshop.
And that was because of initially the public meeting.
At their recent annual general meeting held in the Prince's Hall, the cooperative floated a fundraising share issue. We wondered why they felt they needed to raise more money.
The need for the second share offer is really concerned with the storage that I mentioned earlier. We've doubled our book store, the numbers of books we have in stock, and we've had difficulty finding a suitable place to store them. And this is a problem of success, if you like. But we're hoping from the sales of the new shares to try and find storage and shelving materials to house the books so that we can bring them into our shop at appropriate times.
The bookshop is open daily from 10 a.m. till 5. And before you leave the shop, take a look at the display in the window. It's designed by Sarah Rogers and is frequently changed and often features topical books on sale within. This one is their sporting window, just in time for the London Olympics. A new website called Britain from Above has recently opened, and among the 16,000 aerial photographs taken between 1919 and 1953, there are 15 photographs of Clevedon taken in the 1920s. The earliest picture is dated 1920. It clearly shows the Clevedon to Yatton railway line, and in the foreground to the left you can clearly see Coalhouse Lane as it goes over the railway line. It's hard to believe that most of these fields are now occupied by houses. The other photographs in the series were all taken in 1928. They were obviously taken during one pass of the aircraft from Wellington Terrace to Wains Hill. Familiar buildings are to be seen, like the Friary Church, but many of the buildings seen in the pictures are no longer there. The pier features in a number of the photographs, and older viewers will recognise the small dance hall that occupied the area next to the pagoda. This was never rebuilt during the rebuilding in the 1980s. The 1928 pictures taken as the plane passed along the beach area are also worth studying. See the different steps reaching down to the main beach on this one. And here, where the Sailing Club headquarters building is now situated, you can clearly see the Alcove Pavilion, which had only recently been opened, and which, along with the Salthouse Pavilion, was a popular source of entertainment in the days before television. Further along the beach you can see that something special is going on at the bandstand, as they have erected a large marquee next to it. If you look very carefully at this photograph, you can see that building work is underway on the Marine Lake project. It was finally opened in April 1929, and 2 years later reports were published in the paper that it leaked. Nothing new there then. These are the final pictures in the series. St Andrew's Church nestling in the valley between Church Hill and Wains Hill. Note the number of graves in the cemetery. Now it's full. And also note the lack of scrub and trees. There was clearly livestock grazing on them there hills in those days. The website can be found at www.britainfromabove, all one word, .org.uk. It's well worth a visit. The annual event, organised by Marlins and the Clevedon Swimming Club, attracted over 30 swimming runners. A swim round the marine lake, followed by a brisk run round the Salthouse field, then up to the pier and back, followed by another trot round the Salthouse, was on the agenda. As the race was to be run along the promenade, in amongst the general public, a dozen or so marshals were deployed to politely segregate the runners and the promenaders to avoid collision. Accurate timing is always expected at these events, so timekeepers, please synchronise your watches.
1, 2, 3, go.
Time now for race organiser Jenny Ellis to set out the ground rules.
The canoes will come to your aid. I'm just looking, there are actually no canoes at the moment. They should have been there 10 minutes ago.
They're on their way from the canoe house.
They're on the way. Oh, thanks. Hi, John.
And the starter, Brian Bewley, demonstrates his starting technique.
I don't say take your marks. From there, I'm still watching you. And you go. All right? So then, you know, and sort of, 10 seconds later, you'll be coming in on the finish. You'll be going around so far.
There are in fact 2 races going on simultaneously today, just to confuse us spectators. These 10 swimmers in red caps are swimming just once round the lake, a distance of 400 metres, followed by a 3,000 metre run to the pier and back. And these competitors in the yellow hats will double those distances by swimming twice round the lake and running twice up to the pier and back.
Ready?
Yes!
Okay then.
With the 2-lap race now well underway, the leaders in the 1-lap race are coming into the finish. After changing in the transition area, they are off on their run to the pier. Meanwhile, coming round for their 2nd lap are the 2-lap swimmers. Number 85, Lizzie Warnes, who is in the female junior 2-lap class, is first out of the water in a time of 12 minutes 42 seconds.
Behind the hut, keep the railway line on your left. Good.
Got one coming back.
Some people have finished.
Yeah, I tricked them. You down that way? Stay near the grass.
Is that Joe over there as well? Where's that?
At the pier end of the race, two marshals have seated themselves squarely across the prom. Much to the bewilderment of some of the pedestrians, we imagine, you can almost hear them saying, "What are these strange people doing sitting here?" Meanwhile, back at the Salt House, runners are still running in both directions, and rest assured the timekeepers know exactly where every competitor is. The first to cross the finishing line in the 2-lap race is the same Lizzie Warnes, in an overall time of 36.5 minutes. Followed less than a minute later by the men's senior competitor Oliver Lee.
And we have here today Linda Knott from Marlin, and our winner of the male senior 2-lap category was Oliver Lee.
Dress up as any favourite film character from any era of cinema and join us. This was the invitation from the Curzon Community Cinema as part of their centenary celebrations. About 30 people took up the challenge, encouraged no doubt by the chance to attend a special free showing of the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz, starring Judy Garland. The Earthquake Barbershop Quartet popped along to the bandstand, suitably dressed as characters from the Wizard of Oz film, and sang its title song.
Watch out for whirlwinds.
What's your face in it?
You go there, we want to see.
Okay. The big rule is if you can't see the camera, it can't see you. So get yourself in a position where you can see the camera. Otherwise, it won't see you. It really is that simple.
Not only did the competitors have to dress up to see the film for free, but they had to walk the mile or so from the bandstand to the cinema as well. But it was all in a good cause. The money collected by the cinema volunteers during the march went towards the Curzon Restoration Fund. So, with their very own Pied Piper, Jerry the flute player, in the lead, off they went. Not quite down the yellow brick road, but very definitely to see the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, we're off to see the Wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Here he is, the Wizard of Wiz, if ever a Wiz there was. If ever a Wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the Wizard,